back on the way to the Nürburgring again for races 2 and 3 because we have a double header this weekend. I'm currently in the queue for the Eurotunnel waiting to get on the train. Got my child's booster seat behind me, courtesy of Indy Seats. Already noticing a lot more traffic just in a few weeks or so since I came here. I don't know, it's a funny one this week. The weather's been really grey and heavy and wet in the UK. I don't know if it's low pressure or high pressure or quite what, but I just feel really like low energy at the moment. Looking forward to getting to Germany and hopefully just, I don't know, fresh air or whatever it is, but just waking up a little bit. I jumped on my sim last night just to try and do a few laps around the Nürburgring. It's funny because the PC I was using for the Formula E Race at Home Challenge actually belonged to Formula E, and unfortunately I had to send that back to them a few weeks ago. Still got my Thrustmaster wheel and my next level racing rig and everything, but in terms of like what I'm actually using to race, I've had to go back onto the PS4. It's really eye-opening jumping back onto those platforms, having used R-Factor 2 and Race Room, especially Race Room, which I've been using for the Nürburgring because it has the latest, most up-to-date laser scan version of the track. I really kind of got to see the difference, experience the difference about what it was like between PC platform and a PS4 and just the feel of it. And long story short, I just found it quite difficult to readjust. I did a half a frenzy lap on each game and then just kind of turned off, by which time it was quite late anyway. I'm really excited about getting my own PC and I'm currently talking to some people about that. So hopefully by the time I get back from this race weekend, I'll have something sorted, which would be really good. And I really want to start playing Assetto Corsa Competizione. It was amazing to take part in the Overtake Challenge for the Clash of Races, but I got really caught out on that game. All the racing I'd done meant starting from the pits with hot tyres, and for the actual race start we were sat for ages, so we started with cold tyres, stone cold tyres at Monza, and I just went a little bit wide at one of the chicanes and screwed up, and it was really embarrassing and really annoying because all my times in testing were really good. Anyway, to the Nürburgring. After driving 8 hours today, I was going to come for a run in the forest where I normally come, and then I ended up meeting Oscar for food just as I got into Adenau, and so now I can't run, but I've come for a walk, and it's just, I just love being here. It's so amazing. Like this time of night, I don't know if you can see me, but it probably doesn't show up, but it's like, I guess the sun's getting low and the forest's quite dark, and then you've just got the sun kind of hitting the tops of the trees. It's just beautiful. It's really beautiful. I feel like I'm the only person here. It's so silent and still, and you just got the sounds of all the birds and things. A few bees buzzing around on some purple flowers. Just love it here. It's so peaceful. I've really missed this. You know, it's funny to spend 2 weeks here, then have 2 weeks at home and come back. I don't think I've ever done that. Spent 2 weeks in a place, come home and then almost come straight back 2 weeks later. And it's a really funny feeling coming back here. I feel like, I don't know, I've really connected with this place. And I really love it. There's just something really special about it. Look at that, it's just really beautiful. My camera's not even barely doing it justice, to be honest. But yeah, amazing. So if you've ever wondered what I like having for breakfast when I come racing, I'll show you. So my preference is granola, and then I make a smoothie, and then normally I have a glass and I pour this in a glass and I put granola on top, but I don't have that today, so I'm going to use a bowl and then just pour that on top. But it's great because it's like I mean, I have it all the time at home anyway, and it's got, you know, vitamin C and all kinds of stuff and loads of carbs, but like nuts and fibre, and yeah, it just kind of keeps you going all day, and well, not all day, but like certainly till lunchtime. Well, today's gone well. I started off with a half-hour session on the GP track and got some laps around there. Really just a good opportunity to get back in the car and kind of familiarise yourself, and even things like jumping in a left-hand drive car, which is, you know, feels quite normal for me, but it's just that spatial awareness in terms of where this wheel is in relation to the curb, and just being able to place it like when you want it, like right by the curb, not that far away from the curb or on the curb. My teammate David Bertello has elected to take the start tomorrow, so I'm going to be driving the final stint. I'm trying to think the last time I jumped into a car midway through a race to take over in a stint, which is, I don't know, I think it would probably been the Race of Remembrance at Anglesey or something. I think we're going to be running about 13 starters tomorrow, so I'm hoping we're going to finish higher up than 7th, or at least 7th again, but who knows, we just have to see. So many people in the team, like there's so many mechanics, and then all the drivers. If you think they're running 12 cars this weekend and there's 2 to 3 drivers per car, it's got to be getting on for about 60 people, I think, 50-60 people. But anyway, I just got back to my place and it's 8:45. I'm going to watch a bit of television and just, yeah, go to sleep because I'm pretty bushed. Blue sky. It's like a good day. It's race day number 1. So it's 11 o'clock, just finished quali, and yeah, a bit of a tough one really. David went out first, straight away we had a big code 60. Lude's got a clear run at it, but then handed over to me, and again I think I had 3 code 60s in one lap. You have to slow down to 60 kilometers an hour. I think Lude's got a 9:35. We're starting 13th on the grid, which isn't really where we want to be, but I mean it's just the way it works on a circuit like this where you've got so much traffic, so many people having their own little races and crashing. I mean, I was really going for it in quali. I was really sending the car quite hard at times, and I was just, you know, a bit frustrated, which also gives you a little bit more aggression, I think, when you're driving. Hopefully David can make up some positions at the start and we can just carve our way through the traffic at the beginning, but we'll see. I mean, it's such a tough class, the Cup 5 class, so, you know, you've got your work cut out a bit, but hey, it's racing. Let's see what happens. Today's not been the best day, I've got to be honest. We moved up a little bit. I think at one point we were up to 11th. Obviously things moved around due to pit stops and stuff. Lude went in and drove his stint and then handed over to me, and I drove the last hour and a half. I had to come in for a bit of a splash and dash. Unfortunately we got disqualified because of speeding in the pit lane. We've got a very long pit lane set up at the moment because of COVID, just to keep everyone safe and in the fresh air. It's 40 kilometers an hour as you come in, and then goes down to 30 through the main pit where everyone's working, because it's literally an open pit lane, so there's a lot of people moving around. The cars have GPS, so if you do speed it gets picked up straight away. Frustrating result today, to be honest. It's annoying to come last, but then to get disqualified is even more annoying. In fact, it's racing, sometimes you have a shit day. So we go straight into qualifying tomorrow at 8:30. I'm hoping that I'm going to be taking the race start again. I like doing the start, you know, I like sort of attacking when everybody's bunched up at the beginning. I think it's a good time to try and use my pace and see what we can do. Yeah. So folks, here we are on the grid. Happy to be starting the race today. We had bad luck again in qualifying. It's so luck of the draw here in quali, because you go out, you get 3 laps each, and if you get code 60s or someone crashes, which I'm learning at the Nordschleife seems to happen a lot during qualifying, it's just luck sometimes. Starting at the back again, and I'm just hoping I can try and make up some places. It's tough in this class, you know, the level of competition's really high, and video bomb! Trying to keep up with the front runners, it is hard because, you know, on this course you've got so little margin for error if you go off. I'm getting a lot of confidence in the car and how much grip there is and how much you can push it. I think I need to do some work on my braking technique, very particular braking technique in this car. You have to try not to trigger the ABS. I feel like I'm struggling to get rotation at the moment, and I think although I feel like I'm trying to drive fast, it's not so much the confidence, it's just more the fact that I'm not getting the car to work in the way it should do. It's just a case of trying to unlock some of that technique to be able to drive it a lot quicker but with less effort. Got Philip and Dom as crew chiefs, they're both doing a great job, so yeah, just working hard to do what we can do. A bit of a race update. Got a really good run at the start, went off like a rocket to be honest, and the car felt fantastic. Had a really good battle with Stefan Cruz, who's in the team as well in BMW number 651. I'll probably put a full lap up of me swapping places with him. We were going really well, and at one point I got past him, thought I was starting to catch the car ahead in 10th, the black and yellow BMW, I don't know what number that is. I managed to do a 9:22, which is my theoretical best time for all my best sectors in race 1. I mean, I think the fastest guy is a 9:09, but that's like a lap record time. A lot of people in the kind of mid to high teens, like a 9:18 here is really quick. So to do a 9:22 in the race, I'm really happy with that, to be honest. That's really good pace for this point in the season. The target that Oscar gave me as well, who's coaching me, was to do 9:25 or below. As an initial kind of, that's where you need to be. So that side of it was really good, really positive. The not so good, well, coming into Whipperman, I just ran a bit wide. Basically, I was coming around the left-hander and I realised in an instant that I was going too quickly. But at that point, I was like going too fast. There was nothing really I could do. I couldn't hit the brake that hard because I was turning. So I tried to get on it, but the track falls away. Ran a bit wide onto the grass. I think I just kissed the barrier slightly, nerfed the curb, and I thought I had a puncture. So I came off. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I can feel a bit of vibration. Got to like 75-80%. Car felt kind of, you know, pretty drivable. So I radioed, guys coming in, think I got a puncture. They changed the tyres. I went back out. As soon as I started driving, I realised that the wheel really wasn't pointing straight, and I had some bad tracking problems, which on the Nürburgring was pretty scary because on the right, when I turned right, the car was really turning right, and when I turned left, it wasn't turning left so much. I came back in, switched over with Lutz. They had to do the tracking and everything on the car, which took about 14-15 minutes, so we lost a bit of time. I wish I'd said in the first instance, just been a bit more detailed over the radio. Lutz is out in the car at the moment. I think the car's running okay because he's been out, he's not been in. I guess if we stay out, we could maybe still get a top 10 position. This has not really been our weekend. It's so tough racing here. Of all the racing that I've done, it's such an incredible feeling racing on this track when you're out there with all the traffic and you're really pushing, you're really on it. And yeah, you're having to slow down for code 60s, and then you start, so you've got this whole kind of stop-start rhythm to the race as it goes on. I don't know, it's hard to explain in words really how mental it is. It's Matthias' 50th birthday today. Matthias is the team captain, well, team boss, and basically no one said anything to him all day, like no one said happy birthday or like anything at all, and then we just surprised him all just now in the tent with a big cake, and everyone sang happy birthday to him, so yeah, it's pretty good. Happy birthday, Matthias. I'm gonna rehydrate anyway with a beautiful view. Cheers. Post. Yeah. Well folks, this is the end, or the end at least of races 2 and 3, and the end of this video. Either way, this isn't the end of this trip, because I've got something pretty awesome that I'm doing tomorrow in Germany before I come home. So that's going to form a new vlog in itself, and I won't spoil it quite yet, but yeah, what can I say? I'm heading south east of here to somewhere where they make some pretty awesome cars. And I'll just leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. As always, please like my videos, please subscribe, please comment in the box, please check out my Patreon channel just here or just here, link in the description as well. Big love to all my Patreons, guys. Thank you so much for supporting me, and if you'd like to be a patron, especially a platinum patron, you can get one of these badass caps. Just check out my Patreon page, and I will see you next Wednesday at 8 AM. Lots of love, guys. Take care.